Hey there, flashlight enthusiasts and flashaholics. You have a problem, and so do I. No, this is the Nitecore NU25, and I actually made a review a couple of days ago, and after I did that, I threw the packaging away. Then when I finally finalized the video and edited it, I did not like the way it turned out. So unfortunately, I'd already thrown the package away, so I cannot show you the packaging, but it's just a clamshell, I guess. Anyways, so this is the Nitecore NU25, a maximum output of 360 lumens, which is pretty much identical to the Nitecore Tiny. And I'm not really in the headlamp market, but as you guys know, a few months ago, I purchased the Streamlight Enduro Pro. And while this is a great headlamp, there's a bunch of cons and pros when it comes to, well, I guess both of them in a way. But one of the biggest things is this light. I guess, you know, the Streamlight Enduro was only 20 bucks, so you can't really have everything for $20. And one of the biggest things is this is governed by PWM and not current control like the Nitecore. So on the low modes, you can easily see that it's ridiculously, well, it's very sensitive. Or it's got a very low PWM, which is just crazy. But most Streamlight flashlights and torches and headlamps, they're all kind of the same way. I've never really had any Streamlights with good current control, but I wanted a light that was current controlled, so I got the Nitecore NU25. Now the cool thing is the Nitecore NU25 does have a built-in 610 milliamp lithium polymer battery. Now keep in mind, not lithium ion, it is lithium polymer. But it is built into it, which is great. But like I said, that could be a disadvantage too if the battery is dead and you don't have power, something like that. Whereas the Streamlight Enduro, you can just pop in some new batteries. But I do like the fact that this thing is literally half the weight of the Enduro Pro, which basically means you almost can't even feel it on your head. So 360 lumens. It does have an onboard high CRI white light or color rendering index. Color temperature is about 4,500 Kelvin. So you'll definitely notice more of a yellow tint, but that's usually, or that's just the little square light right there, which puts off 20 lumens. Then you have the red light, which is 13 lumens, and the low red light is actually 0.9 lumens, which is great for nighttime. You don't want to wake anybody up or, you know, stuff like that. Of course, it does also have caution. Caution red light does flash, SOS, and beacon. 360 lumen max output for 30 minutes, and the high output is 190 lumens, mid is 38, and low is 1 lumen, and that can last up to 160 hours, which is great. So basically 1 lumen of current controlled light is great. Comes a little charge cable, which I've already used. Instruction manual. Read over those stuff. Now remember, this is pretty funny. It doesn't actually tell you how to install the strap. The strap is kind of a pain in the butt because I didn't do it right the first time, and I basically took this thing completely apart to try to get it on there. Little did I know that I didn't have to take this apart completely. I literally spent an hour doing this. Luckily for me, my girlfriend's more patient than me, and she pretty much helped me put it back together. Look, the Nitecore badge is actually crooked. It's crooked just a little bit. Now the strap itself is made up of a very tough nylon, of course, as most of them are. This thing will probably last quite some time. The only bad thing that I could possibly see in the future is, at least on the Streamlight, the lettering seems to be, well, maybe not. That this elastic strap is a little bit different than the Nitecore one, and unfortunately, since this one is painted with the Nitecore logo and all these colors on it, I'm afraid that over time, as you guys can see, if you stretch it too far, it will kind of, you know, dull out the color, only because it's stretching the paint and it's causing it to do that. That's the only reason it's doing that. It's because you're stretching it and it's ripping apart the, or not ripping apart, but stretching apart the paint, and that's why, of course, it looks like that. So I don't know if over time it may fade this a little bit, but I guess we'll see. So I picked this up for about $36 on batteryjunction.com, and I got it, like I said, mainly because I wanted a current controlled light that had an integrated battery. And I will still use the Streamlight Enduro, but probably going to use the Nitecore a lot more. All right, so the user, well, I'll tell you that in just a second. Here's the charge cable. It takes about an hour to charge. It took me about 30 minutes, but I think it already had some power in it when I first charged it. It does have a battery indicator where you just hold down the R button, or the R for red, just hold it down, and it flashes 3 times, and the battery is full. So you have a full battery. So just to show you guys real quick, it's not quite the way I said it. 3 flashes represents battery level above 50%, 2 flashes is below 50%, and 1 flash is 10%. All right, so it's now time for the UI, or user interface. I'm sure you guys are waiting for that. Now remember that this light does not have mode memory, so will not remember the last mode you used, in case you want to know. You have 2 switches up here. You have the power button and you have the R button for red light. So anyways, if it will ever focus. So press the power button once and you go into that low mode of 1 lumen. And like I said earlier, there's no PWM. It is current control, so as you can see here, that is the lowest mode on the Nitecore, and here's the lowest mode on the Streamlight. That's the best way you can tell if it is governed by PWM. Cameras are very sensitive to that, but as you can see, it does not. So press it one more time to turn it off. Now, if you leave it off, or if you leave it on for more than a couple of seconds, it won't go into the next mode. It'll automatically turn off if you press the button. So now that it's off, press it twice. Well, just keep pressing it, I guess. So low, medium, high, low. Well, I guess it turns it off. I'm sorry. Low, medium, high, off, low, medium, high, off. Now, to go into turbo mode, is while it's on, press and hold it. And now it's on the 360 lumen mode. So we'll turn it off. Low, medium, high, hold it down for the turbo mode. Now, while it's on, actually it says in any state, so I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, so we'll go ahead and hold it down for more than 3 seconds. If you hold it down for 1 second, it will go into the High CRI LED. So hold it down, and now it is on the 20 lumens of 4500 Kelvin, or the High Color Rendering Index LED. And there's just one output mode on that, it's 20 lumens. So turn it off by pressing it again. Now, if you hold it down for 3 seconds and not 1 second, it will go into the SOS and beacon mode. So we're going to hold it down, so it goes into the CRI. And now it is going into the SOS mode. And I believe if you press it again, it will go into the beacon mode. Okay, never mind, that turned it off. You have to hold it down again. All right, so we'll hold it down for 3 seconds. Now, hold it down again. And that didn't work. So I think you have to do it quickly, so I'm sorry. Hold it down. Now it's an SOS, press it once. Now it is in beacon mode. So fairly simple on the power switch mode. Just basically just press it, low, medium, high, hold it down, turbo, from off, hold it down, high CRI. And this is actually a very good usable amount of light, by the way, in case you didn't know. Well, you don't know, that's why you're watching it. But it's a great amount of light in the middle of the nighttime. You don't have to use that XPG2 emitter. Now the R, for the red light, press it once, you have low, and then high. And that is actually really bright, which is great. So you have the low mode, which, by the way, I believe is actually brighter than the Streamlight red mode. So that's the highest mode. Low, high, low, high. So here's the Streamlight, and then here is the Nitecore. So here's the Streamlight on the right, or your right, and then left. And then, of course, the Nitecore on the left of the screen. And it's amazing just how incredibly bright this is. So, of course, you have the low, high, and then the beacon. You just keep pressing it. And that's all the R button does, obviously red. So there you go. And hold these two buttons down to lock the light out, and it will flash, letting you know that it's locked out. So now it's locked out. You can't turn it on. If you press it, it will just turn red. And then hold it down, and it'll turn back on when you unlock it. So there you go. That is the interface for the Nitecore NU25. So some of you may be thinking this, while some of you may not be. I definitely was not thinking about it until somebody had mentioned it to me, but this actually looks pretty similar to a GoPro camera. Look at that. I mean, almost identical. I'm just kidding, it's not almost identical, but there are some similarities. Now there are some differences, but there are some similarities. What makes it so funny is the GoPro camera, when you start recording, the red light does flash, just like on the Nitecore NU25. So you could literally wear this on your helmet or your head while you're riding your bike, and someone will think you have a GoPro camera. You wondering how big this is compared to the Nitecore Tiny. Well, here is the Nitecore Tiny, and here is the NU25. Pretty good size. This just goes to show you how small the Tiny really is. Now, don't get me wrong, the NU25 is actually very small, but it's amazing to see how small the Tiny actually is. Now, there is one complaint I have toward the NU25, and I wasn't going to mention it earlier because I forgot. But since I looked over and saw my Nitecore Tiny, I thought I'd go ahead and mention it. The reflector on the NU25, while it may be an orange peel reflector, it still is relatively throwy. It does have a pretty good distant throw on it. Let's just say that it's not floody like the Nitecore Tiny is. So to be honest, if I was going to change something on the Nitecore NU25, it would actually have the beaded surface, just like the Nitecore Tiny does. And somebody had mentioned in my comments a while back that no, that's not a beaded surface, it's called an orange peel. No, I'm talking about the actual lens, the exterior of the lens. It's actually a rough textured beaded surface. Now the internals of the reflector I'm not sure about, maybe could possibly be smooth or orange peel, but I don't know. But I do wish that the NU25 had the same setup on light, or same style of optics as the Tiny does, because I tend to like floodier headlamps, I guess. I don't want more of a thrower headlamp, so I do kind of wish that this did have the same optic setup as the Nitecore Tiny.